I'm going to declare the meeting open at 5:03. But regular attendance, got no apologies, leave of absence. On the previous public questions taken on notice, we have nil. So we're going into public question time. Paul, you'd like to say something?
Yeah, I've only got one question I want to ask today.
It's fine.
Because we're about to go, for the sake of the record, my name's Paul Noble, I live just close about making it on the local rate later. I've only got just one question today. What water goes to the tip? Is it town water or bore water?
To the tip, we
Yeah.
have both.
Both town and water. Oh, okay, right. That's all. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Right.
One other thing, I'm not really expecting, but I'm really tickled people, the 10 people that put their hands up and we're going to have a fair assessment.
Yeah.
And the best thing about that is the people are going to choose how they want to represent them, which I think is awesome.
Thank you.
But I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I think it might.
And then
Thank you.
it wasn't me. Thank you, Paul. All right. So,
Go on.
okay, we're going to move on now. Done that, the petitions, presentations and deputations. I have none, but I was going to speak about, this is our last meeting as a group. It's been really great what we've done here in the last 2 years together, what we've achieved. All of us as a group, we've been short on occasions. And today, for an example, we've got a member that's been disqualified, or not disqualified, so that's wrong, suspended for 3 months. So we've all moved forward, and that's been a bit of a heartache for a lot of us. I know that. We'll move forward. We've all worked really hard, and I think this council has really achieved a lot in the last 2 years. And I think you should really pat yourselves on the back. All of us have done a great job, and it's all working together as independent councillors that we're supposed to be. I've really appreciated being the president here and representing our community. It's been a great honour. It's really taken a lot more of my life than I ever expected it to. But I've done that, and I'm going to continue it if after the weekend, if I was re-elected and the council allows me, I'd like to continue this job. I think we've got a lot to continue with, and today we're going to be adopting our strategic and business plans, the stuff that we've been working for the last 2 years. And I think within those plans, we've got some really good things going to happen for our community. And they themselves are the people that put into this. This is what we've done with regards to our consultation. It was unprecedented for our shire, the way we went about it. The efforts were put in by councillors and individuals in our council to get the information and the stuff that we have into this document. Also, the amount of time that we've actually done with the drafting and everything to get it exactly right how we want it. So it's fantastic, and Matt, and so I'd like to appreciate all of the work that you've all put in over this last 2 years with me as president. And we're going to move forward. And regardless of what happens on the weekend, this council will always move forward. This community, strong community, full of great people. So I'd like to stop at that. Thank you. So item number 6, do we have any declarations of interest?
No.
Declarations of interest?
I've just got 2 questions that I was asked today and last week. With the election, do we have a scrutineer? Is there a scrutineer being appointed? And the second question was, it was some confusion in the Midwest Times that you must show identification when you vote, but we're not required to do that in state. So is that a misprint in the paper?
We didn't put any items in the paper, so anything that was in the paper has come from the state government or from Wagga.
Right, it was in.
So I'll defer to the deputy returning officer who will be managing it on the day, and she will be the one who'll set her requirements. So will you be requiring identification?
At this point in time, we are not. We're just following the federal and the state elections. We just check for their name, surname, and their address. And if the address is right, then we go for it. Until we get a double, someone has already voted, and then we might need to do it. But we trust that the ratepayers will not be jumping up.
Yeah, it was just a bit confusing because nobody's ever in any elections, as I said, state or federal or local, has had to show ID. So that's why I'm asking this today. Maybe we could put a notice out on the notice board or something to just clarify, maybe the newspaper, if they could have put that in themselves. Before people, we don't want to discourage people from voting, and if they see that, they might. Oh,
But I would suggest also we don't want to advertise that you don't need to provide ID, because then that's going to be thinking that they could take advantage.
Yep.
So it's probably best if we leave it as it is.
Yeah, well, but that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Because that might. Because people, I know people don't want to use their driver's license. That's a private thing. And they said, what else can we use? And I said, well, possibly your Medicare card, but I will ask the question. But I think people need to know, honestly.
So perhaps those people you've spoken with, Councillor Williams, perhaps if you could clarify with them that no, they don't need
Yeah.
to provide ID.
Right, okay, that's fair enough.
There were some other reports on that newspaper article also were incorrect with regards to the time we can vote during the week.
Yeah.
Because it said to 4 p.m. when it's not, actually not, it's 29.
Not 6 p.m.
Yeah, sorry. All
All right, that's all, thank you.
right.
Thank you.
So no declarations of interests. We have no applications of leave of absence. So we're going to be with item number 8. 8.1 is the minutes of the ordinary meeting held on the 28th of August 2027. So I need someone to move that council endorse the minutes of the ordinary meeting held on the 27th of August 25 as circulated to be confirmed as true and correct record of the proceeding. Or not. Yep, Councillor Homewood. You want to second that motion, Councillor Kelly. So have you got any questions with regards to that? It was 7 weeks ago. Didn't remember our meeting at all.
Remember.
No?
I remember reading them, but I don't, nothing stood out, so.
So we're going to vote for the recommendation. Councillor Jones. Harry. Okay. We also recall we had our audit meeting and also our budget endorsement, special meeting on the 29th as well. Cool, endorsed our budget. Yeah, yep. So it's been a while ago. Yep, so that's the other thing, that's the other meeting that we've had since, so. Announcements by presiding member without notice, well, basically I said something on the petition side of it. But, yeah, I think again, all the work that everyone's done in our council, including the staff, they've really got their hands right up, but as councillors, we've been there supporting them the whole time, making sure that everything works here, so. Thank you
Thank you
again.
for your patience.
Thank you for your patience, Councillor Williams. So on number 10, we've got elected members' presentations and reports, and like I said, it's been 8 weeks since we've had a last meeting, so I'm pretty sure we've done a fair bit of this. We probably can't remember what we've actually been up to. But in saying that, I've done a lot, so I'll start with myself if you like, because I've been sort of really busy in the last weeks with regards to the just everything awesome. So we had the meeting on the 27th. Then on the 28th, we had that, Remelius had their golf course consultation stuff down at the rec centre. Went down to that, had a good talk with them. They were really accommodating with that. We had lots of members of the community in respect that we had probably 10 or 15 people come to that from the community, which is really good as well. And got feedback from them, what they sort of expect the golf course to be. So that was good. And they also, when they were there, saying that other things that Ramirez could possibly do for us, other than just the golf course. So that was interesting what they came up with. We had a work meeting and a special meeting to adopt our budget. And then the week after that, I went down to Perth, and in doing that, myself and Tralee, CEO, met with some leaders of the opposition, Basil Xanthus, Shane Love and Curly Ward, had a meeting to discuss the upcoming amendments to our miscellaneous licenses. We also on the second day went down and met with the Greens Party, with Tim Clifford, Sophie McNeil from the Greens Party. So we've got that, basically we have support from them. Then I telephoned a few of the other independents and other parties. I've spoken with Amanda Dawn, she's the Animal Justice Party other member. Spoke with Philip Scott, the One Nation Party member. I've left messages with others, and I've also sent some letters to one which I can't do at the moment recall. So that was a really valuable inside, and the politicians basically, what I feel is that they're going to basically support what we're doing here and make the government accountable for changing this act, legislation. The same week, the same day we did, the CEO and myself also went into the DPH, went in and actually in person and asked them a lot of questions about where we're at. And consequently, we've had a lot of action in the last 5 weeks from them. Hence why we've got an agenda item coming up tonight with regards to the caravan park and so that sort of stuff. So obviously going down to Perth and speaking to these people in person actually does make a difference. It could take up to 2 years, some of the stuff that we've been dealing with this planning. So it's very good that we've done that. And I think that's the effort we put in. We have the races. So the races have been absolutely, it was always one of the fantastic, and a credit to the actual committee and the race club of Mount Magnet. Thanks to the staff that went out there and also over the year and kept that facility as green and as good as what it is. Following the races, then I went straight down to Perth to the local government league, where the first day I went to the heads of government agency meeting, and when I went there, I spoke to the DPLA. The Department of Sporting and Training table with the heads of department agents from there. And the discussion I had with them was with regards to police clearances for council members. There's been a discussion in listening on the radio about it, and I'm sort of concerned about that too, that we have integrity of some of our members, or all our members. If we can't prove that we're not creditable to be here on paper, then we shouldn't be here. We just have to, we can't just rely on people's integrity to tell you that they've done something wrong in the past. So I know that being a member of the fire brigade, I have to give them everything to be a member of that, but to become the Shire president, I don't get anything. So I don't think that's right. At the Walter Convention, we put out the motion that we put forward at our council meeting. That was received unanimously. It was a really good feeling. I was quite in awe of standing up there in front of all those other members. It was quite I would say really, but it was really good. It was intimidating, but not really. I spoke for it, and no one spoke against it, and it was a unanimous decision in the day, so it was really good. From there, Charlie himself comes across the road. Ramelius has moved their offices from south into the central city side now from East Perth. We caught up with Tim and Heather from there. We spoke about the road agreement, where we're at with that. So tonight we've got that in our agenda also. Spoke about the water. So as we all know, we have issues with our water in town with regards to irrigation and the supply, consistency of the water and the type of water. Ramelius has got some results of what we've got here. We're going to try and work something out with them with extra water, possibly, to see what's going to happen with that. And the other thing we spoke about is because we had that consultation earlier in August, was about the golf course. So I'm not sure whether they're actually with it, but they're talking about still doing all that for us as well. So then I've been on the radio quite a bit, and on the so I've been speaking to ABC Radio and to Nagata Media, which is Indigenous media from the Pilbara and Kimberley. And that was all in regards to the miscellaneous licenses. This week, after Mr. Black was found guilty by the SAT Friday on Friday, and I've had conversations with the ABC, Channel 7 on Channel 7 News last night. And there'll be articles in the Midwest Times also, so I've spoken to the Midwest Times. I have had a very busy week, month or 6 weeks, but in all saying all that, it's been very full on, but I think we're going to get somewhere with our miscellaneous licenses. The work that we're doing with Ramelius at the moment and the conversations they're having are real positive. Everything's moving forward with that, and thanks everyone. I'll go back around the table now, because I still normally do it that way. So does anyone else give an MRBC meeting?
We did trip up the fence.
Yep.
On the 29th, 30th and 1st. So we met with all the appropriate landowners on the number 1 fence north from Granby Station upwards pretty well. They were out there for 3 days. Don't know what we're doing, any concerns they had. Everything was good. Then we had a meeting on the 8th, MRVC. And the budget meetings for here, I think that's what I've done show wise, where the races and all other stuff, but yeah. Yeah,
Thank you, guys.
I went to the Small Halls
Oh, yeah.
picnic and to the art exhibition. And to, been to some seniors week meetings. And to Mount Magnet races. And I went to the first day for choking babies or toddlers.
I was going to the art exhibition from Small Hall, the budget. I'm meeting with Aqua, participating, the seniors. And I had a meeting with, went down to the pool and spoke to aquatic services. Hopefully they may have it all completed by Thursday. That's fingers crossed, but then you have to wait a week for it to all dry. Then they'll have to come back and they'll have to fill and they'll have to do chemical balances. So it's still looking, I suppose it's just day by day and see when it is it opens. But there is progress. They've done a fair bit of work and it's looking way better. So
good.
I've had the seniors drop-in centre.
Yep.
As I've changed it, as I've said, and we've had, in the last few months, we've had a lot of caravan park. People that were waiting to book into the caravan park and people that were staying there. And it's created a little bit of interest in that we've got something available for people that want a cup of tea or might be want to use the bathroom, whatever, when they first get to town. So that's been pretty positive. A lot of work, but it's quite enjoyable meeting new people. And when Cecilia at the visitor centre had the accident and hurt herself, and then there was some overlaps of no staff down there. So then I put my tourist information centre hat back on and did that. And had to draw mud maps because I didn't have any paperwork to show anybody.
Yeah.
So when Cecilia came back, she's actually given me a pad that's got all the water trails and what there is to see in town, which I could really have done with that
Yeah.
beforehand. But anyhow, I've gotten there now, and that's to assist people if the visitor centre is shut, or it's later in the afternoon or early in the morning. Positive. So that's been a positive thing.
I think it is, that's a very
Um,
positive thing.
And some days it's like turning into a men's shed, except when they don't do any work. But there's a lot of lonely men in town, or anyone looking for partner, there really is a lot of, and I've had one chap in, and he wants to start a men's shed, and he said, oh, we'll use this building here, and I think you know who I mean. And I said, no, actually you won't. But he got quite heated about why he couldn't use the golf club. Why doesn't the Shire build another building for the men? I said, well, you need to actually go and speak to all these men.
Yeah.
And have a meeting and get everybody's names, and then you form a group to take it to council. You can't just, we can't just build a building and hope that you're going to go there.
Yeah.
So I think in the end, he got rather heated, and one of our regulars had to ask him to leave. And that was a really good thing that Frank was there, to be quite honest. He calmed it right down. But on the positive side, it's more positive than what it is negative.
No, good on for doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That's all.
Okay, then, so we're going to move forward now to the next item, which is the Chief Executive Officer's presentation and reports. 7.1 is the action register project updates, CO KPI performance, schedule and staff metrics report. There you go.
And we can see with the caravan park rezoning, that's been going for over 12 months now, as the president's mentioned. We get the detail. I must say thank you very much to the president for all of your attendances. You've been a valuable assistance in the advocacy that we've been doing with all of the state government departments and members that we've met with. So thank you.
Yes, So when we went to the DPH, we actually had not just one person we spoke to there. And spoke to us because, and the questions we asked them, they basically couldn't answer. Right? And, now we have answers.
So, at the time, they said they could take no further action on the rezoning of the caravan park. However, unexpectedly last Friday or early Monday, I received an approval to advertise, so we have an agenda, which is awesome. Local planning scheme number 2, amendment 6, there's been some updates since I wrote that, DPLH progressing now, in that I've also had some communication with, Development WA around that, who ran the last, industrial estate. After speaking with them for some time about options, Development WA have agreed that they're probably not the solution we're looking for. Their lead times are 3 to 5 years before anything starts to happen. So that's great. That's crossed off one of the multitude of options. We can start to narrow them down now. Which ties in with the next application for subdivision of Reserve 4117. So we are expecting to have an update, more progress on that at the next meeting. 108 Hepburn Street, the President met with Mr. O'Brien and there was unfortunately no agreement reached on that proposal. So I would suggest that that possibly come off the list. Melbourne Racecourse lease, we've also made significant traction on that. Minister's approval has been received since the last council meeting. Has Racecourse Committee, Race Club Committee agreement been reached. So I have now put this to council, effectively council are the middleman in this matter. Kennedy Court, lot 416, there's been no update provided. However, I have been approached by asbestos removalists who are working for the department or who are attempting to work clean up 16 at last. Maintenance deed, again, that's been 3 years on the books, and finally that's with us in this agenda item. Parking and facilities amendment local law, the comment period closes on the 17th of October, so the next council meeting will consider any submissions into that. The member motion to Walter at the AGM. I would just like to say that I would like to support what the President said here in that he spoke very clearly and concisely and comprehensively. He had the room in thrall during that particular item. And he received a lot of recommendation from other local governments after the meeting, pats on the back and so forth, about how well he spoke. Integrated planning and reporting, council plan in this agenda for the administration building. We have Slattery are going to undertake a review of the cost estimate. That does take a little bit of time for them. So possibly at the November meeting, we'll have an updated amount there. Airport entry statements. Unfortunately, our contractor is not well, and he's in hospital at Perth at the moment. So that I would suspect that's had a lot to do with why we had trouble getting movement on that. Headmaster's house, running through the final application process with Tammy from Grants Empire to apply to Lottery West, and that's like a really strong application. And the cinema redevelopment, we've done a little trial run with some turf coming up from Perth in the last week. We just did 20 square metres to test out logistics and all the rest. I think we've got that nailed now. So when the works manager's back from his conference next week, we'll be starting on levelling out the cinema and preparing that for the turf. We're still doing a lot of emergency management support hours there, which always causes a problem because, of course, there's always an ambulance call out when we need somebody at work. But I guess that's part of what we need to do and to support the emergency services. So
Move the council project update, staff metric for progress against the KPIs of the chief executive officer. 14. Or Joe. I'm gonna second that. That's a Homewood. I'm gonna vote for this motion. Everybody. Next item is reports, 12.1. 1.1 is the financial figures statement for period ending 30th July, 31st, 30th September 2025.
I've produced the financials for the month of July again, just to give you the comparison of the budget, because the one that was produced last month did not have budgets in place because the budget wasn't approved at that point in time. So July is a reinstatement of what we're given. August and September are the financials, and everything seems to be speaking. No budget runs. Rates have gone up in the month of August. So monies are coming in.
You get time to move the council adopts the statements of financial for the period ending 30th of July. 30th of August and September as presented. Okay. So Kelly. Can you second that, please? Got any questions at all? Or not? The vote for this motion, everybody? Yep, thank you very much. Yeah, 74. You go. 12.1.2 rate status and other financial information report for August 2025. Someone 75 or 75. 75. Yeah. You.
So obviously the outstanding rates being 1.4 million, it's reasonably high. That's because we've said it. But we've also brought into account the miscellaneous licenses back rates. So they do unfairly sort of skew the results there. You can see, have a look on page 76, there's back rates for 18, 19, 19, 21, 22. So in addition to that, we have the 22, 23, 23, 24, 24, 25 miscellaneous licenses, which are in our standard rates, charge of 620,000. So, when you put that in perspective, the current miscellaneous licenses, campaign is quite critical for this local government. We can see that when it comes to the debtors reconciliation, we're getting that quite down. Those in green have been approved to be written off. They just haven't taken the action at the stage of at the end of August. We have one that's with finance enforcement. We're waiting on payments of. There is the $7,800 that we're still waiting for payment of. And there are the other animal infringements and the lease fees. Good.
Finance enforcement agency, what happens if the people, if they, finance enforcement agency, they contact the people and they have to pay them? And what happens if they don't?
They can lose their driver's license.
Well, yeah, I thought that was the case, but I've recently been told that in a remote town, because there's no public transport, that doesn't happen. So is that correct, or are we paying fines enforcement agency, but in actual fact, they can't impose, take a licence off because we don't have any taxis or
They can impose that punishment.
even in a
That
remote
penalty.
town?
Yes, they can.
Oh. So
I've just got one question with regards to, reconciliation here. We've still got this asbestos room, what's the street, so we're at that with regards to the block. That's still-
We're still finalising the transfer of that property.
So that happens, that would.
That will disappear. Council will be asked to write that amount off.
That's all right,
Yeah.
that's a clarification. Cool. All right then, so we need someone to endorse this. So that's someone to, all right, then move some of the council, following report with attached the, wait for conciliation report August 25, the debtors 90-day action report August 20. Sign was moved. Want to see it, please? Councillor Williams. We're going to vote for this motion, everybody. Yes, thank you. Right. Straight on to page 80. Councillor Williams, on to the work managed report.
So the works manager is currently out of town attending a waste management conference. So the capital maintenance works has been a heavy focus on the town this last couple of months. The reticulation of the water condition. As the President's mentioned, we've had some reports back on the water, which has demonstrated significant hardness of the water, which has contributed to and salinity as well. I'm sorry, it's been very clear that we couldn't possibly grow anything reasonable, any exotic type plants in there. That added to the dieback has been the reason for the loss of the roses in the main street. And when we look at, there is one jacaranda tree that's also succumbed. So very shortly, we're going to have to reconsider exactly what we're doing with that centre strip and what we plant in there. However, we have currently applied for a community water grant funding of about $100,000, which will go towards a treatment plant to treat the water that we're using, which will make it much more suitable, and hopefully we'll be able to start getting some of those plants back that everyone likes to see. Sorry.
So just on that also, this salinity the build up is actually causing a lot of issues with our solenoids and stuff, so hence why things are blocking up, all the rest of it, so it gives us a proper answer to why we're having so many issues with that.
So that's the reason
It's
the
probably,
plants are dying is all the water.
so that's probably the main cause of this, the actual water, the quality of the water itself. It's very hard,
Yeah.
it's full of calcium, and that's everything basically.
Calcium, salt and magnesium, extremely high quantities of them, something like 15 times the recommended value.
This is after they've done the water plant. Water's coming from there?
No, this is our bore water. We don't use potable water for our garden, it's too expensive.
So the bore water is, their quality's gone right down.
Well, it's probably, we've probably never had it. So we've been blending it for a long time in the dams. We haven't had sufficient water at the moment to blend it with. The dam also, the evaporation of that dam's extremely high. So whatever water you pump in there, you lose half of it during the day anyway from evaporation, especially a day like today, with a recent heat. So, but that's what we've ordered. That's why we're having all these major issues with that. And now we've discovered that issue, and we're going to get water resolved. And I think everything will grow then. Thank you, Laura.
That's okay. So additionally, you will have seen the works crew working up and down the median strips, putting a lot of plants in and mulching this week. So they're all quite excited about that. The waste landfill site, we plan to remove the scrap metals. So that'll be in the next week or so. And we continue with training on the weighbridge. It's obviously a relatively complex thing to do for people who aren't used to dealing with technology. We have replaced 4 head units at the caravan park in October and will continue along that pathway. As councillor Kelly's explained, commencement to the repairs to the pool tiling has occurred. Relining of the return drains, they look really amazing. I'll be printing some photos of them shortly for the community to see the difference that's occurred. The water tanker was sent to Perth for brakes, bearings, wiring and airline repairs. And no staff training and recruitment required. And that's everything from the works manager's report.
Thank you. So I'll get someone to move that council accepts the works manager's report.
Chair, I'd just like to make a comment. One of the previous CEOs of this town came on the fence board with me at the end of last month to comment on how good the main street in the town looks when you drove through it, so. Positive feedback.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank
Oh.
you.
Through the chair, I might have some too. I was told about tourists that someone was behind and they were driving really slowly because they were filming our main street.
Oh,
Filming the vegetation and.
oh, lovely.
All right, does someone like to move that? Councillor Kelly. Let's second it, please, councillor Homewood. We'll vote for that, everybody, but yeah, thank you very much.
Can I just say the works manager's put August there, that should read September.
Okay. Okay.
His resolution.
Yeah, and that was good.
All right, well, on to the next one is our events update. And I'll talk for 3.1's a page over. The calendar's there. I think we've got next week.
Calendar is definitely chugging out quite a bit. I think we're up to there was the festival of small halls that
Yep.
occurred in August. 56 attendees, 3 councillors and 13 tourists. It was really, really well received. Canadian folk singer and Australian folk singers. Unexpectedly very well attended and unexpectedly a joyous night. So there was $700 raised and that was donated to support the purchase of bread for the remainder of the school year's breakfast program.
Right, that's great, yeah, of course.
And the festival small halls attended to the district high school for their performance and welcome to country. There was a group of young students who got on the stage, performed as a band for the first time ever. Most of us would have seen that on Facebook. They did an excellent job. So hopefully we can provide them with more opportunities like that. The Science Expo went exceptionally well. 153 attendees on the second day, plus 17 tourists. First day there was 52 plus 14 plus 2 councillors. We stood here and watched the volcano exploding through the window. You could hear the kids squealing with delight from inside this building across the road. It was really exciting to see. Jamie and Cora's farewell, again, very short notice, approximately 150 attendees. Fabulously catered for. I have to say that the team that are working for us currently are exceptionally talented when it comes to catering, and we're very lucky that they enjoy doing that as well. Father's Day gift making, roughly 17 attended there, and they made some lovely gifts for Father's Day. Citizen of the Year nominations are out, so please encourage people to nominate. The student art exhibition, unfortunately, the president and I missed that because we were in Perth at the time. However, again, there was an amazing demonstration and huge amounts of artwork provided, and very positively received. We're looking forward to next year as well. There was a first aid session in the library just the other day where the paramedic talked to people about rescuing their children if they're choking. And there will be a quick wins weekend on the Bannermire Creek, not this weekend, but the following weekend. So that'll be about just doing some quick cleanups. on the 31st of October by the Halloween trunk or treat. So rather than have kids going around visiting all the houses, which can be a little bit unsafe and it can bring unwelcome people into houses where they're not wanted. It's better to, I think it's better to be able to have the event across at the art gallery where effectively the trunk of your car will be your house. So the kids will go sorry?
Road will be closed off.
Yes, the road will be closed off and the kids will go from car to car and receive their gifts from those who want to participate. Seniors Festival, 10th of October, Seniors Week is shaping up to be a really, really big positive week. And we should all be very thankful to the entirety of the seniors in this town for collaborating so well and creating such a robust agenda. So final work is being done on the town Christmas party, the Christmas lights competition, emergency services quiz night and Australia Day 2026.
Yeah, so, awesome. So I've had a lot of feedback myself. I've been. Well, they've really commented on how the Shire stepped up with their events, how the community is really involved now, and people looking forward to next month. What's up next? So, and Marty, just credit to Marty for working and on the groundwork. She's got everyone together collaborating. The seniors week thing especially, you can see what's happening with that.
And it's good, different things for different.
And different things,
Yeah.
different strokes for different folks. It's really good. Everyone's got something they can go do and see. So yeah, I think it's good. So someone to move that council endorses September 2025, Councillor Williams. I'm going to second the motion, please. That's Jones. I'm going to endorse that, everybody. Thank you very much.
The government's and planning councils can probably take this read, Mr. President.
Yeah, I think that is read. So, move that council endorse the update related to meeting attendance and training. I'll move that, please, Councillor Williams. And second that, please. Jones. As read, can I vote for that? Everybody, please. Sorry, thank you very much. Next report will be our CEO's report, CHO, sorry. He speaks in CEO, but it's the CHO. CEO speaks.
Couple of matters of concern. We've found some problems with the two hotels. There's been a fair bit of work done to the septic systems there, which has appeared to be improperly approved. So now there's a very complex one coming to a resolution to ensure that the septic systems are properly approved going forward. Thankfully, the new owners are WHO and the Department of Health currently to make sure that it's properly approved by the Health Department. Bill's making progress towards ensuring all food premises in the Shire are registered. That ball had been dropped a bit while Bill wasn't here. No building permits, no reports issued or made this last month. Planning, there's been an increase into what type of housing can be built. People are looking at buying, because properties are cheap here, they're looking at buying properties with the intention of putting a tiny house on them. If you've got a tiny house that's under 70 square metres, you don't need planning permission, but you still need to meet the building requirements. If the building has wheels on it, it's classed as a caravan and it's subject to the caravan and caravan park. Now that says that you can only park it in one place for 3 months without council approval. So anybody comes and asks, I'm happy to provide the approval for up to 24 months. And after that, they just need to apply for renewal of it. It's a very simple process. It's not something we're stopping people from doing at all. However, unanticipated barriers to the above, people buying a cheap block and putting a tiny house on it, that you still need to provide septic tanks and leach drains. And water and electricity connections and costs and timeframes are quite burdensome and they're putting a lot of people which way, but we've got no control over that.
I want someone to move that council accept the environmental health officer report for September 25. Councillor Jones, Councillor Homewood. So if we vote for that, please. Thank you very much. 4.6.1, it's our council plan. As we know, we've been working on this for quite a while. Got included in this document tonight. We have the strategic community plan, the corporate business plan, and the public health plan. This document, we have been working through probably the last 6 to 12 months on this, and I think we've done a great job. Look at it, it's quite simple to read. It's telling us exactly where we want to be 5 years' time, so basically in 10 years' time, realistically. There's anything there, huh? Going to go with this is the final draft. What we need to, and yeah, so you read it, last through it, as we know, wasn't still, eh? Also want to move. Council endorses the Mount Megan Council Fire Plan 2025. It's attached and was the CEO. I published the council plan 2025-2035 on Australia's official website and provide public notice for adoption. And notice that the corporate business plan component will be reviewed annually as part of the budget process, and strategic component will be reviewed in accordance with the planning and framework. Someone endorse that. Yes, Aaron's moved. I'm going to second that, please. Homewood. I'm going to vote for this endorsement. Very much. Thank you very much. What a big thing. I know the amount of effort that everyone's put in on this. The amount of consultation also with it, with amount of consultation and everything as well. We had, we had it at the school, we had it at the hall, had it at the Werner Barnder, plus we also had on the internet. We had responses from an online survey, had 45 responses, 15 from the school, 50 community workshops, and that also at the Werner Barnder, so awesome. Righto.
There's council first in the region to have a public health plan as well.
12.6.2, so council approved parking stations and stalls. So we adopted, or we were stuff a few meetings ago. This is here to basically endorse that we're going to be able to put some parking signs and stuff in the places that you've chosen. Look in the next few pages, there's in the dark blue is where the actual zones are now for heavy haulage parking. On vehicle parking, sorry. So, if there are any other areas that you could do this, safely, and also with the accordance of where the trucks can actually park, I don't think there's any other places in Mount Magnet that we can them. So, okay, so the caravan park needs to be in there.
No, parking next door to Windabarn, between Windabarn and the hardware store.
Okay.
So I'll cover that in as well.
All right, happy with that, everyone? If there's anything you think that we should change that at all, we'll do it now, because this is basically so that we can put parking signs up. Saying that this is what it's for.
Well, I personally think you're better off putting the caravans down Warren Street rather than across the road.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just the access in and out.
Yeah.
Is quite painful when you've got three of them trying to turn in there.
On the main road.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean the caravan park itself.
No, they across the road here, next door to the hardware.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got, I've struck it before, we got 2 or 3 trying to turn in there. Confusion sets in. And they sit there and they hum and ha and talk to each other on the radio.
Yeah.
I personally think you've got to park a value of Warren Street for like that, it's easy access to the town.
Yeah. Well, since we've removed that,
In and out's easy.
that island, since that's removed, they're going in there so much simpler as well, because before they do negotiate that island on the way through there into that park.
Yeah.
So that's made a big difference as well.
So I don't really see the need to include that one. So,
Okay.
There's a little, but are you talking about near the hardware shop?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still a little bit of, an island there that needs to be cut away. It's like a part of the
concrete.
curbing.
Yeah.
It's, looks like it's been left there, I don't know, by mistake. But if people drive in, there's a chance they could have to drive over that. Probably only about that big, but it's, yeah. But let's hope that they all park there and not in front of the post office, which is what they're doing.
So the red part, the page with the red map on it, that's where the single parking only zones will be.
Yep.
So no long vehicle parking there, that's what the signs will say.
Yeah.
And that'll give us the opportunity then to speak to travellers and truck drivers and hopefully positive response from them when we do speak to them.
What, the post office people and myself and other people have noticed this year, well, it's probably been going on longer, but it's just been prevalent this year that, people are parking with caravans in front of the post office, taking up all the bays. And I did speak to a man and I said, there's parking across the road. He said, oh, I'm just going to the butcher shop. So just going to the butcher shop means that 6 bays were taken up, so. And Kent owns that block of land next to the shop. Would it be worthwhile, do you think, for Kent to put a sign up on the side of his building? Butcher shop parking, not butcher's parking, but butcher shop parking, so that means butcher customer parking.
Well, he unloads trucks in there.
Okay.
They park down in Warren Street. It's a 2-second walk.
Up to get
Yeah, but what I mean is they're taking up all the parking in the main street.
No, but park in Warren Street.
Yeah,
So
they
there's
can
no,
park behind.
no caravan parking signs on the main street, but there's signage saying you can park down there. Surely they can figure that out.
No, but they don't, honestly.
No signage though at the moment.
So that's what we're gonna do. So the
Yeah.
council's gonna endorse the appended parking stations installed and authorise the CEO purchase signage.
Yeah.
Define the ample parking and heavy long vehicle parking as designated. So would someone like to move that?
Yeah, I will.
So Williams has moved that. Someone like to second that motion, please. Councillor Jones. And you're gonna endorse this, everybody, by a yes. Thank you very much. Okay. 12.6 points. As we've been really busy, we've had the last 7 weeks before between meetings. We're gonna change the date we can to the end of the month, instead of having the council meeting Wednesday after the election. Cover the following week, that'll give time for the staff. Stirring in ceremonies and new councillors actually get the training prior to actually starting their first meeting. So we'll have our elections on the weekend, have our meet and greet on the Tuesday, is that correct? Tuesday,
Wednesday.
Wednesday. So we'll get all sworn in, the new members. We'll have a thank you for everyone else.
Is that a special meeting?
It's just a meet and greet, but it is a special meeting as such because it'll be swearing in
Yeah,
ceremony.
that's close.
And then go to the following week. And determine our council at the council meeting on the following week which will be on the following Friday, 29th of October.
It's a Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday, sorry, 29th, Wednesday, the 29th of October. Weekend of the what is it, 22nd, no, what's that one? Be the 25th, wouldn't it? That's when the plans and planning with David Price.
That's not a weekend,
It's not.
so, sorry.
Sorry, I'm getting this wrong.
The training for public advocacy will be on the 28th of October. For meeting procedures and public advocacy. And then on the afternoon of the 29th of October, we'll do an induction with councillors. We'll work through the process of the technology and the devices. And we'll show you the new councillor SharePoint website where all of your information will be. Just run through the model code of conduct and those sort of things. And then that night, we're hoping that we can have the council meeting where councillors will be able to elect the president and deputy.
So,
And any delegations.
Please, set dates for next year as well.
it is. So,
Ceremony, swearing in ceremony could be an issue for me if I get back on the moderator job, still depending on the Sandstone apparatus. So I may or may not be able to attend that.
we can still address that when we have the meeting if you're on that Friday. I mean, sorry, that Wednesday. But anyway, so we need to move that council endorse the change of the date to the October meeting to the 29th. Request the CEO to publish the details in accordance with R 12.3 or -3.
That's the next meeting, the 29th.
So we're going to move it from the 22nd to the 29th.
Right, okay, but we have a special meeting before there to swear in
Well,
You have a swearing in ceremony.
it's not a special meeting, it's a swearing in
on the
ceremony.
15th, is it? No.
26.
So that's,
Oh, right.
yeah.
It's all right, I couldn't see it.
it's okay. It's in here.
Yep. And then the council meeting is
Following week.
following week.
So there's training on the 28th and meeting on the 29th.
Okay.
That's correct. So there'll be some training on the 29th as well.
The next meeting after that is the 28th of October, is that right?
29th.
28th is training.
28th is the
Training on the
Oh, right.
28th.
Oh, yeah,
Yes, the train's on a Tuesday and Wednesday.
okay,
Meeting's
I'll
on
read it, yeah, later on, yeah.
So anyway, so let's endorse this if you want to go with it. Yep, so it's actually, someone's got to move, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
It's Councillor Jones, got ahead of himself. Give me a second that, Councillor Homewood. We all voted yes for it, thank you. Sorry about that. Jumped the gun. All right. 12.6.4, it's the town planning scheme. So after our little meetings in Perth and everything, these guys have come back and sent the correct documentation for us, and so need to move the council endorse the advertisement. Proposed amendment to 4 to the Shire of Mount Magnet local planning scheme number 2 in accordance with planning development, local government, local planning schemes, regulation 2015. And authorise the CEO to proceed with public consultation project with forwarding the amendment to relevant government agencies and departments for comment. Would someone like to move that, please? Mr. Jones? Councillor Kelly? Any questions with this? This is amending the caravan park into one block.
Yeah, sorry, no.
Right.
It is only amending the residential properties on the front.
Yep.
To become caravan park, not residential.
Yeah, okay, yep. Right,
So that's the,
So we own
oh,
blocks.
the old CEO's
Yes.
house and the, yeah, right, okay. I
Friends
thought it was
house.
like a
that's what it matters, isn't it?
That's what this is about.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's just making them into caravan park instead of residential.
All right, so I'm going to vote for that, please. Okay. Yeah, we've got all our, so that's pretty well what we're up to with the meeting at the moment. We've got to go into our confidential next. We've got all this, everything. All that stuff, not all the moment, so. Everything's going really well. The, visitor centre still flying. They had, Aussie Gold Hunters there on the weekend, so they made a movie here, so it'll be on the TV show. The Aussie Gold Hunters TV show was here on the weekend at the museum, doing some footage down there at the State Battery, so we should see them on maybe 2 years. We might be on TV in Mount Magnet, so
You see the fitness centre's up 30%.
yeah, it's awesome. Right, so we're gonna go to
Caravan parks up 21%.
item 14. Notice the motion have been given, because they've been given as new.
What part of it goes?
So we're sorry, we're on page 186 now. We've got notice, item 15, notice of motions for next meeting. Yeah. Late business introduced by the decision of the meeting. So I'm going to approve, we're going to go into confidential now. And so someone to move the confidential, sorry, the council approves the introduction of confidential business in accordance with the Local Government Act 99. That's 5.23 B-C, and close the meeting to the public. Someone, that's fine with. Seconded by Councillor Kelly. Going to go with this, everybody. That's a woman, but my vote was.
Yeah.
Oh,